Hey, folks, welcome to another episode of Not Just Paranormal, Making It Back. I'm here with Eli today, and we got a bit of a crazy show for you because there's been a lot to cover because I haven't been around. So stay tuned. This is Not Just Paranormal from the Carolina Storyteller.
In the dark woods where shadows creep, stories rise as the campfire reaps. Jonathan's voice a haunting thrill. With every tale he bends on will. Echoes whisper, the night draws near. By the firelight, our fears collide. The Carolina Storyteller on guide. Through the spooky, the feathering fight. Fables of darkness igniting the night of the night.
And we're back. This is Not Just Paranormal, a show by the Carolina Storyteller. I am the Carolina Storyteller, Jonathan Phoenix. It's a pleasure to have you guys with us. And joining me today, from Men Behind the Curtain and Valmont, the Black Raven Chronicles, the one, the only EC Hart. Eli, how you doing today?
Doing all right. How's it going, everybody? Glad to see you back. I know it's been wild.
All right. We're also kind of live on TikTok. So if you see me looking over and seeing what's going on over here, it's because I'm saying hi to the people on TikTok who are showing up and giving their support. I've been live for like 30 minutes on TikTok today, and or they're kind of seeing us as I go crazy trying to produce this show. So I guess, Eli, you think we should just start off by addressing the real elephant in the room? What happened and why have I been gone for so long?
Yeah, I mean, as much as you want to mention of it, because I know some of it is, more your business, and obviously it's not my story to tell.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm sure, when I said that my show was going to be out like every 2 weeks, and then the other show was going to be out every week, and Balmont was supposed to be out, and this was supposed to be out. And
Yeah.
then everything kind of came to a screeching halt, and there are a couple of reasons behind it. Um, in February, my stepmother passed. Hey, Crazed Wolf, thanks for joining on TikTok. We're glad that you're here. Um, in February, my stepmother passed away, and that was a hit. Um, I followed that up with my legs getting worse at the end of the month, and I set a doctor's appointment because I was starting to have issues where from just driving, I would have mass amounts of pain going through my legs. And like I would work an 8-hour shift and then not be able to move the next day. It was just horrible. Um, and then on March 2nd, my mother passed away. And so that really combined with my health, it ended up putting me out of work. I am currently on FMLA, on leave from work, so I'm not working right now. I'm not doing much of anything. I've had to kind of regroup and rehash and deal with all of that, and it's been really difficult to get through. Um, we had to go to Georgia for my mother's funeral. Um, and the thing is that it would be Belmont wouldn't be having a problem if it was just me that was out. But we've had issues with other people who are also having hard times. As a whole, I think we're agreeing that the month of March just sucks.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm hoping that this is not going to be a trend for the rest of 2025 because my mental health is not built for this.
yeah. You were threatening to post a meme the other day, and I replied with, "I will send you to Jesus." Because
Yeah.
as far as 25, thank you, Crazed Wolf. I appreciate you saying that. It's something that I've had about 21 days to process, and I have been. It's still hard every day, but I am getting over it as time goes on. And I got to check the YouTube because I don't get it. Am I not going live on YouTube? Are we not?
Let me check
Um,
because Oh, that is not the right app. I was looking at it earlier and I saw like the timer on YouTube, like it was get no, yeah, no, you are.
We are live on YouTube. Okay, because
Yeah,
what I'm seeing is, I guess I'm still in the settings or something. I don't know. I was trying to see if the chat was going on YouTube. Do we have a live chat? Okay, come on, close this. Give me a refresh here.
now
Um,
that you mention it, I can go ahead and pull it up on one of my other screens here. Benefits of having three displays.
See, I am on a laptop. I have one display. I can't do that. Um, and again, this is the first time that we've just gone straight to YouTube. You normally, what we do is we go to Facebook, and everybody on Facebook kind of, oh, look at the Facebook notification. But we decided just to go straight to YouTube this time because why? Well, because I was hoping I'd get more response out of YouTube. I don't know. I seem to be getting more response out of TikTok for some reason. So maybe I should just start doing not just paranormal on TikTok, and we can worry about it everywhere else. Um,
So
but
real quick. Remind me later. I'll message you after this ends. Because I'm using my laptop too, but I can recommend a couple of things. Once you have a couple extra nickels to rub together, I know FMLA only it doesn't do much. But I can recommend a couple of things so you can have at least a second, if not a third, display with your laptop.
that would be awesome. I would really like that. After I get through with what's going on with FMLA, because I am being, yeah. I lost my grandmother in 2017, so I know how you feel, Crazed Wolf. Um, it sticks with you for forever. It's never something that goes away, but it does get easier every day that you move forward, and I am trying to move forward. I miss my mother. We were not really as connected as I would like. We had been estranged for some time just due to distance and time in life, and I miss that. I really do. Um, oh, look, we got Eli in here on TikTok as well, so Eli can
Yeah,
look at some of these comments and say stuff too. Um,
and
so
I
now
have
the
my
show's
phone
going
set.
on YouTube and TikTok.
Yeah, and I have my phone set pretty much right in front of my monitor and camera, so basically all audience is getting the same view, give or take.
Well, I've got two different sides. So you guys are getting the side view. You guys are getting the front view on YouTube. You're probably getting the better view. I'm not lying. So, with that being said, there have been delays in everything. The Carolina Storyteller's been delayed. We are delayed getting ready for Automicon. Um, Not just paranormal. I had to cancel a couple of episodes. I could not mentally wrap my head around doing the episodes. I just couldn't do it. Um, and then, of course, Valmont, the Black Raven Chronicles, which was supposed to be out March 1st, because of our tech having some major family issues going on, we couldn't get that out in time. So now we're behind on Valmont too. But we are bouncing back. We are going to be coming back, and we are glad that you all are sticking with us, so that we can bounce back and come back a little bit stronger, a little bit wiser, a little bit faster, um, and hopefully a little bit funnier on this show, because this show isn't supposed to be serious at all. So a lot has gone on since the last time we were together, because you were on the last episode, weren't you? I think you were.
I
I
don't.
think it was me, you, and Jackie. Um,
I
if
think
anybody
the
watched the last episode of Not Just Paranormal and could tell us who was on that episode, because we don't know, even though we make the show, we'd appreciate that.
I think there was somebody that you were basically she was supposed to be on the same episode as me and she had like a last minute thing and had to cancel, but I believe she was on the following week, or the following episode. I think that might have been the last one. I can't 100% remember, but that's what I'm remembering. I could be wrong.
That's what I thought. Yeah, Amanda Marie was supposed to be there. Amanda Marie is a beautiful singer from out of the Syracuse area of Pennsylvania. For those of you who do not know, and I enjoy her music. I enjoy her personality, and I have had her on the Carolina Storyteller before, and she's got a new song out, and she got another one coming out in April. So I might try to get her back on sometime soon. Um, uh, the law about anime. We're going to get onto that, Crazed Wolf. Thanks for bringing that up. But
Yeah,
I'm going to try and
I
get
was looking
Amanda
at that a
on.
second ago.
I'm going to try and get Amanda on soon. Um, and let me answer this one real quick. I don't know why I can't talk and type at the same time. Just the two don't work. Like if I'm starting to type something, I have to shut up and focus on typing. Is that an ADHD thing? Does anybody that's watching, do you guys know, is it an ADHD thing that I can't talk and type at the same time?
I can tell you I have a little bit of trouble with it. Just I don't actually know what I have. I'm like 90% sure that I'm on the spectrum. I don't know if it is ADHD or autism or a cocktail, but I struggle with it too. I especially if I am typing one thing and talking about something else. I can't keep the two straight for shit. Um, so yeah, I don't think it's just that. But if it makes you feel any better, I remember reading a long time ago that BB King could not simultaneously play and sing. That's why BB King was known for doing the little blues rhythm that da 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 da, and then he would sing. So if it makes you feel any better, he had that problem too.
Well, I just found out, and I'm super excited. The Vampire Queen Jackie is in the YouTube chat. I just was able to
I
get
see
over there
that.
and take a look at it, so I'm super excited that the Queen is here. So what you're saying is that I'm like BB King, and so I could be a blues singer if I could just learn to play that one chord.
How many?
Now we keep
What?
forgetting. Last episode, we forgot to pay some bills, and quite frankly, I need to pay bills. Um, and Crazy Wolf, thanks for agreeing that it might be my ADHD that causes that. But so we need to mention Atomicon 2025. This is in just like 4 or 5 weeks from now. It's May 3rd and 4th at the North Charleston Trident Technical College Convention Center. I'm going to be there. I don't think Eli's going to make it, but we're going to have a whole bunch of other people, including the Vampire Queen Jacqueline, Dr. Paul Flowers, Nick Hankey. It's just a large amount of the cast and crew are going to be showing up at the show. We're going to present the episode 7 table read, which I'm hoping will be right after episode 6 drops. So you guys will get to listen to the episode 7 table read. If you're there at the convention, you'll get to hear just how insane we are because these table reads normally only go up on Patreon. If you're on Patreon, you should know the episode 7 table read is going to be on there um tomorrow. That's right. The episode 7 table read is dropping on Patreon tomorrow with the episode 8 table read. Episode 9 table read is going to be this Thursday. And as soon as I get it over and get it all fixed, now that I have Audacity and I have a system to work with, that's going to be on Patreon. So if you're not on Patreon, you can see the link down at the bottom. What the hell are you doing? You can go and listen to all of the table reads, find out just how crazy we really are, and have fun with us. I don't understand why you're not at patreon.com/, the Carolina Storyteller. That's just crazy to me.
Also, I'm just talking to the YouTube chat right now. Jackie, behave.
Thank you. Thank you, Eli. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. For those of you keeping score, wherever you may be, we have a behave on Jackie already. Um,
It's not
now,
even in the fucking stream.
Now, here we go. We've got to do this, and it's time. We got to talk about the elephant in the room. And we have had so much happen in like the past few days. It was hard to choose just one topic. It's really hard to choose. Now, me
Yeah.
personally, The one thing I wanted to talk about, and this is actually, and it's strange. I actually think I found something that might be a bigger deal than Pumpkin Spice Palpatine, the oh great Mango Mussolini that he is. Um, but no, that's also Crazed Wolf. I am going to mention that in just a minute. So stay tuned because me and Eli are going to talk about that. But Casey Anthony
Oh
shows up
my
on
god.
TikTok, just boom, drops on TikTok and is like, I'm on TikTok now. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. For those of you who do not know, and Crazy Wolf, I don't know if you know this or not, Casey Anthony was accused of the unaliving of her daughter, Kaylee, um, back in like 2008, 2007, 2008. Now, this affected me because back at the time, I had a child named Kaylee. They're not named Kaylee anymore. I apologize for using their dead name, but I need to go back into the past. And in the past, that was their name. That's what they were. And they were a little young child. So this really affected me because I had to think about my young child being missing and this poor woman doing the things that she was doing when her young child was missing. And I'm like, why aren't you running around with an AK-47 hunting people? Like, I'd be kicking doors down. I don't know about you, but if my kid went missing, I would be kicking doors down. Now, she was found not guilty in association with murder. Evidence obviously said that there was something going on. She knew more than she let on. It took 20 years. She came out on a documentary and she admitted she knew what was going on. It
I
was
didn't hear
it
about
was
that.
because no, there was an interview. She came out with an interview. And honestly, I watched the interview. I have a history of learning to read people. I believe what she said in the interview. And the story she basically gives in the interview is that Kaylee drowned the day that she was reported missing. And her father had been the only adult awake in the house when Kaylee went out, climbed into the pool, and drowned. Casey had been asleep. Casey woke up to find Kaylee missing. Casey, of course, goes out to investigate. Casey's father says, oh, well, I'm going to deal with this. You don't tell anybody what's going on. And then doesn't tell Casey what's going on. And then the father does all this, and Casey keeps up the whole spiel and the whole scam for a month. For a month, she keeps up this whole scam of covering up what has happened to her child until she ends up getting charged with it because the cops are like, no, this is BS. You're not telling us something. And she wasn't. She was hiding what actually happened to her daughter, which sounds like a tragic accident. Now, I'm saying that I do believe her story. She was involved. She knew what was going on, but she didn't kill her kid. That would explain why she was able to pass the lie detector test about killing her kid. She didn't do it. That didn't happen.
I mean, would the lie detector test have mattered? I mean, they're not admissible in court, are they? Or was this like a different type?
They're not admissible in court, but they're typically used as a way to kind of eliminate a suspect. And it was one of the problems that they had, even though it wasn't admissible in court, it was something that they could bring up. Hey, look, she went and submitted her to testing and passed. And you still, this is what her defense was saying. Her defense was saying she didn't kill the child, and she didn't kill the child. It turns out nobody killed the child. It was an accident, but they covered up and they wasted a whole bunch of taxpayer dollars and they did a whole bunch of irresponsible stuff. So here we are, 20 some odd years later, and all of a sudden, the Crazed Wolf says that in some places they are allowed to at least be brought up. Their results aren't admissible, but they are to be mentioned. They can be mentioned. It can be like, look, she passed the lie detector test. What do you want? And that makes
I see
sense.
that.
But here's the thing: 20 years later, her showing up and saying, "I am an advocate on TikTok." Blah 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 blah. I think it's in poor taste because she's doing this. It seems to me that she's trying to build herself up on social media. She's not out there, and she's like, let me tell you my story and da 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 da. And she's not out there fighting for, first of all, she's not fighting to see her father put behind bars for the cover
I
up
would be.
or the things that her father did. She's not trying to slam his ass in jail, which I would be. Are you kidding me? He'd be under the jail. And two, and this is what bothers me the most, is she's not really advocating for, she's advocating for people to get proper defense and things like that. But she's not out there doing the protest. You don't see her at the protest. You don't see her at this. You see her on TikTok all of a sudden pop up. And she's got 65,000 followers. I don't even have 10,000 followers on TikTok, people. Not even
Do I?
10,000. I am at 8,600 and have been for like 3 years. I don't make any money off of TikTok because I can't get 10,000 followers. This chick has got 65,000. What are you guys doing? Why aren't you following me? Hi, Lily. Welcome. Alicia, welcome. Uh, in other words, she's using child. Yes, exactly. And to me, that is in poor taste. She should not be using this child to amplify herself in any way, shape, or form. Alicia, yeah, I've got TikTok going over here. And we're also on TikTok at the same time, Jackie. While you're
Different person.
so there's an Alicia who just joined, and a Sarah Bean. Sarah Bean, welcome. This is going to be interesting. So
No,
yeah,
I know what
Kaylee,
Jackie's
Casey's,
recognizing. It's somebody different.
yeah, Casey is obviously using. She's not. She's not putting forth anything into other than her own her own clout. You know what I'm saying? It's not like she's out there and she's going, look, this is what happened to me, and I want to fix this because this horrible thing happened to me, or this horrible thing happened to my child. She is going, hey, I'm going to be an advocate for people to get defense lawyers. And I'm like, well, okay, you want to be an advocate for people to getting defense lawyers, then you need to be helping get laws passed and meeting with senator. You don't need to be on TikTok because at this point you don't have a platform really. You're trying to build up a following, and I don't agree with that. Oh, if I found her, I'd take care of her for you, Jackie. We will hunt for that woman. So that's my whole thing with that, and I think you agree with me on that, right?
Yeah, it feels like she's just riding off of, "Hey, remember me? Yes, we remember you, bitch. We don't like you." Uh, so now, as far as her being innocent of it, um, I never really knew a lot of the details except that what she said didn't add up. So I was always of that opinion that if you didn't do it, you know who did, or if you don't know who did, you have a pretty damn good idea what's going on. And now we find out that that was true. Which, I'm sorry, if it was me, if it was one of my fucking kids. Sorry, I'm trying not to cuss too much. 'Cause I can do it
Oh,
on my
come on.
show,
We know
not
we
yours.
cuss on this show. It doesn't really matter.
If it was one of my kids, he'd be safer in police custody. Because if I catch his ass, it's not gonna go swimmingly for him.
And that's the same way for me. And the thing is, as I said, I have a small child at this time. Um, I have two small children at this time. My son Adam, who was just starting first grade, and my youngest child, Wash, who at the time went by Kaylee and was just this tiny little baby. And I all I can think of is, what if this was mine? Because you hear your kid's name, if you name your kid Ramalama Ding Dong, and all of a sudden you hear on the news Ramalama Ding Dong was shot, your freaking mind goes to the worst possible place. Um, and it's not really a good place to go. So believe me, I was watching, and let me tell you something. This is how in depth to this I got. I can't stand Nancy Grace. I can't stand that woman to save my life. Um, some comments on this live are protected to filter the community experience. I don't know who's commenting on this live that's being protected, but please don't say anything that would have to be filtered because I don't get to see it then. Um,
Look, and
but yeah,
honestly, I TikTok is really weird with comments that they filter. It'll be something that's not even offensive, and they still do it. So
yeah. I personally can't stand Nancy Grace. Okay, I think she's, but that woman did some expert reporting against Casey Anthony, and I've heard rumor that she has come out of retirement because Casey Anthony showed back up, and I'm like, get her. I'm like, I don't even care. Grace Wolf, I'm sorry that your comment got muted. But now we're going to get to. I want to get off of Casey Anthony, and I want to talk about um the stupid shit that's going on in the government. I want to get political for a minute, but I just want to point out the Townville Elementary shooting was it affected a lot of people. I agree with you, Jackie, on that. That's scary, actually, that you actually went to that church where the kids were evacuated to. And yes, she's still guilty of obstruction of justice.
yeah,
Um, whether or not she'll get served, I do not know. Um, because I think when they did the original trial, that was actually one of the charges that was on her. And because she got off on that trial, they can't go back and recharge her for it now that they know the truth. It'd be the same thing. Everybody said
double jeopardy.
OJ could write a book that said, I did it. And nobody could do anything because he got off. There was nothing anybody could do. So, OJ could have admitted to the murder of Nicole Brown Simpson, and there wouldn't have been anything anybody could have done because he got off. But he never did, and he still owed thousands and thousands of dollars to Ron Goldman's family, or no,
No, but
hundreds
he
of thousands of dollars. He
no,
owed
but
he
he
lost
did write it.
everything.
He did write a book and do a special called "If I Did It," which is really cocky.
You know, it is really cocky, but I I don't know. I don't even know what the OJ case. I never did. Um, but we're getting to something different now. We're getting out of the idea of what actually is legal to what is possibly hugely illegal in violation of the First Amendment. Texas's anti-anime law. Have
This is
you
the first I'm
heard of
hearing.
this thing?
Mm-mm.
So Texas has a law, and cockier than Zoe's father, and he has not. I don't know who Zoe is, but I'm just going to not touch that one because that might be a behave. I'm not 100% sure. So Texas is writing this law, um, and it's an interesting law because it is basically what they're wanting to do is they're wanting to ban any anime, manga, basically any type of cartoon that depicts um, children in or anything that looks like a child in questionable situations. So basically, um, your Dragon Balls, anything where the way it's worded, basically, if there is someone who is under the age of 18 in a bikini in this cartoon, they want to ban it. So this is your Dragon Ball, and anything that looks like it. So as you know, anime is famous for having 300-year-old lowly characters, which for those of you that don't know what a lowly character is, am I saying this right, dude? Like,
Honestly,
correct me
Dragon.
with what a lowly is, because I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it is a character that appears to be um prepubescent.
You might be right. Dragon Ball is one of the few franchises that I never actually got into. Um, Lolly.
Lolly. Okay, it's Lolly.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not the big guy on this. Um, well, no, here's the thing. Okay, there are people who are adults who do look under the age of 18. I could tell you a story right now. When I went and met the mother of my children and the love of my life, when we met, I went to her house and her brother looked at me and said, "Dude, she's 16." And I made her show me ID to show me that she was 20. Okay. Understand that, you know, between 21 and 15, there can be a huge difference of how people look. I have visited high schools where I have seen right next to my son, who I assume looks 18, a kid with a full beard. And it's like, what do you do with that? How do you tell? And let's not forget how many times Lolita came from a desire to be cool-eye and cute by grown women to keep men TF away. I'm assuming that stands for fun, and yet there are men who get going for. Yeah, no, I get that, and so this plan is to completely censor or ban all of this stuff that's been in the media, and it's been in the media for years. Okay,
Yeah.
and it's not just one thing. So we're talking Dragon Ball, we're talking One Piece, we're talking Bleach, we're talking Full Metal Alchemist. Anything where someone is depicted as being under legal age, which that's very hard to determine, or appears to be under legal age, and they are put into a semi-adult situation, whether it be manga, whether it be anime, whether it be on the internet and video games, they're banning all of it. Your Final Fantasy games. Final Fantasy games are going to get banned. What about those cute little Does anybody play Final Fantasy 14 and know what those cute little short
Sure,
characters
somebody.
are?
Final
I
Fantasy is
played
another
Final
one I
Fantasy
didn't get
14, but
into.
my I don't remember my races from that very well. Anytime you play one of these MMO games, everything has got a different race and it's not named what you would think it would be named. Warcraft comes the closest uh but then they've got blood elves and moon elves and this and that, and I'm like, what the hell? Anyway,
And I feel like what they're doing, the premise is something that I think most people can generally agree with, which is, protect kids, don't sexualize kids, stuff like that. I think we can all agree with that. No, none of us are mad at that idea. But when you say questionable situations, that is not drawing a line in the sand, so that means that they get to arbitrarily say what is questionable. And I also wonder if that could affect um, basically, the movie industry as a whole. I remember a law class that I took some years ago, and they mentioned how Hollywood had to fight because they wanted, even if you're over 18, if you're playing someone under 18, that you couldn't have certain scenes, which basically destroys the entire American Pie franchise. So it makes me wonder, like, where does that stop?
well, what about the movie Megan, or what about the movie Megan, where it is an android that appears to be a little girl but does some extremely horrible things, or Child's Play for that matter, where you have
Orphan.
a doll that is supposed to be a young child. What about
Remem-
where does this line, where do we draw the line?
Remember Orphan? Uh,
Yes, Orphan is another good one. In fact, the idea of a horror trope of having Kirsten Dunst, An Interview with a Vampire. Um, yeah, like there's the Crazy Wolf's got another example over here on the TikTok where, yeah, I mean, how do you deal with it? How do you draw this line in the sand and say, okay, fine, we're going to say that this is it. And where does that put us for freedom of speech, freedom of expression? You know, like, I get it. I understand what they're trying to do. I really do understand this. Like, they're trying to prevent they're trying to prevent media from depicting
activity for.
Yeah, so what they're trying to do is prevent, and Jackie says that the line is trying to be drawn by banning these men who fetishize women and not content. They're trying to ban the things that turn them on because of Christian guilt. And this is precisely the problem is that um, I'm going to quote the Bible real quick. And it says that if your eye causes you to sin, you should pluck out your frickin' eye. It doesn't say get rid of the thing that causes you to sin. It says get rid of your eye. It says you punish yourself for these things. You hold yourself accountable. And what this seems to me is that these people are looking at creators who are creating content, however they believe the content should be created, and banning it simply because it makes them feel some kind of way. And I feel like if it makes you feel some kind of way, then you are the problem, not whatever else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like some seats have like the parent bathing the child and stuff, and it's supposed to bring back fondness of memories for when you were a kid and stuff. And then it's like if they're looking at that as like something else, then there's something seriously wrong with them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll agree
I'll
with
agree
that.
with that.
Yeah, and this is the point is that actually the point I'm trying to make is this, honestly. We are getting to a period in America where we are becoming cowards, literal cowards. Instead of embracing accountability, we're so scared of what's going to happen next or what this person's going to do or what that person's going to do. And that's not what America was supposed to be about. We were the land of the free, the land where we're supposed to pick ourselves up by our bootstraps, the land where we're supposed to take care of ourselves. And now, if there's something out there that could, in the slightest way, cause some offense, we have to squash it out because it's going to upset somebody. Hey, Danny, welcome to the show. Um, and so we have to squash it out. And they're going so far as to attack um, anime, video games, and manga. Now, these are all the weird thing is that they're all things that are produced overseas, first of all.
Yeah.
Nobody in Texas is writing. Have you played the latest video game out of Texas? The latest JRPG?
That use some stuff that are more like kind of making fun of like children's hygienes and stuff to laugh at.
And yeah, there might be some American shows that are like that, but you know, generally it's not coming out of Texas. In
Yeah.
fact, I don't know other than like maybe I don't know of a show that's produced in Texas right now. If there's a show being made in Texas, could somebody tell me what it is? Please. I
I'd have
want
to
to see.
Google it.
Is it even a good show? Is it worth watching?
There are some recording studios that are abandoned because tech pretty much drove them out.
Yeah, and I think, given Jackie in the YouTube chat just hit on something really big. We're talking about this law. Let's flip over to another law that came out of, I think it was Minnesota. Now, this law was put out about Trump derangement syndrome. And basically, if you speak out against Trump, you have a mental illness. That's what they're saying. You're crazy if you say anything against Pumpkin Spice Palpatine and his buddy uh, Sleelon. What Crazy Wolf said. Yes, Palpatine is the law. So if you're speaking out
Justin.
against this guy, huh?
No, I was in the TikTok chat. This dude Justin, he's one of my mutuals.
Cool. Welcome to the party. So if you are a fan of uh, freedom, if you're a fan of justice, you're a fan of
Like, like young children trained to hold a lightsaber.
That would include Star Wars.
That's a good point. If they're trying to make a law about, depicting children or in a certain light, then yeah, that kind of ruins a lot of Star Wars content.
Hold on a second, guys. Here's the problem. The law targets anime, manga, and video games
For now.
But
for now.
as some parts of Star Wars are being branched out to China, it does technically count as an anime now.
Yes, there are Star Wars animes. So those animes would definitely be held accountable. But as far as American made movies,
Because they're drawn by Americans, but it's still the point that the Padawans are children, and that they're like, oh, that's not acceptable.
yeah, and you're absolutely right. The Padawans that appear in Star Wars are children, and there are countless other actual real franchises that you can look at where children are supposed to be depicted in doing multiple things. Spider-Man, the X-Men, they're
Stranger
all teenagers.
Things.
Skeleton is not an anime, but how long till that's on the chopping block?
Exactly.
So I have a theory about that is if they're trying to introduce a law where they're attacking, anime or whatever, I think this is their testing ground. I think that they're picking anime because they think that it doesn't have enough support, and like, oh, we can get rid of that, nobody will say anything, and then they can expand it. That's what I think they're trying to do. Maybe I'm wearing a tinfoil hat right now,
We'll go
but
watch anime.
I don't know if you're wearing a tinfoil hat, but I will say that I actually really agree with what Jackie said in the comment is that this is all projection. Because if you think about it, someone said that Trump derangement syndrome was a mental illness, and they tried to pass a law. And then a couple of days later, this same guy, a state senator from up north, huge Trump supporter, this guy loved Trump, he gets arrested for going and soliciting sex with a minor. He is
this is my
busted
shock
by the
face.
cops, is arrested. And these are the same group of people that are trying to pass these laws and say, hey, we can't do this. This is illegal. This should be illegal. And at the same time, you're going and trying to I watch a lot of anime. I am currently trying to catch up on One Piece. Do you have any idea how many episodes of One Piece there are?
A lot.
316, I believe.
No, there's over 1,000, dude. Over 1,000 episodes of One Piece. Over 1,000, and I am like still in the first 100 episodes. I haven't even left East Blue yet. I have beaten Arlong.
At the episode where they're in Skypiea.
Okay, I don't know what's about Skypiea, so you're not allowed to talk about it. If you mention it, you're banned.
Theory. Take away, and no one will fight about it.
Well,
Oh, so I
now
was
here's
just
the
saying.
thing. This is now. I want to point out that could be it. But I think it's a lot more of projection. I think that they're going, well, this makes me feel a certain sort of way, so that must be what everybody that must be this is me, so it's everybody else. This is how I feel. This is what I think. This is what I think. And it's a lot of projection. There's a lot of projection that's going on here. Yes, it really is. And and then they have this is not the first guy that's gotten busted as a PDF file in recent weeks. This is like the third or fourth. And I keep seeing it pop up where there is um, some person that is outspoken about these things, and then the next thing you know, they're the ones that get caught doing the thing that they're outspoken about.
Yep.
And then the bigger thing is, and this is something that came. I'm gonna.
Thinking on being caught. That brings up why to Catch a Predator was canceled,
I
and
remember that.
it was because they caught a senator and he unalived himself on camera.
I remember that.
I mean, I might get some hate for this, but that sounds like good TV to me. Good riddance. But I'm gonna fast forward to I'm gonna try and because we're spending a lot of time on this, and this is not what the whole show's supposed to be about. We're supposed to talk about other stuff too. But I just want to quote something from a very intelligent man, George Carlin, who is a hero of mine. He once said that Americans are willing to give up freedom for the illusion of security, and that's what's happening is that in order to be free, you've got to fight to be free. And fighting to be free means that we're going to take hits. It's going to happen. We're going to get hurt. Bad things are going to happen if we're fighting to be free, but we have those freedoms. And those freedoms are worth the risk. But the minute you start getting security, you have to give up those freedoms. And the more and more that we secure things and lock things down and do to kind of make ourselves cowardly, not willing to stand up and be like, I'm willing to be free and let others be free. I'm willing to take that risk because I believe in freedom. I believe in justice. I believe in these things so much. But we're cowardly now. We're not brave like we used to be. And George Carlin said it best. You'll give up your freedom for that illusion of security. And it's that illusion where you make the mistake because guess what? The people that obey the law aren't the people you need to worry about. It's the people that when you say, hey, here's this law, they're going to say, I don't give a damn.
Sometimes you got to be uncomfortable to do what needs to be done.
I have a friend of mine who is kind of right now, I don't get to see her because she's a coworker, but she's kind of my personal trainer, illegitimately. Lindsay, if you see this, I do miss you guys. I'm sorry. My back is still messed up and I don't see the neurosurgeon for a few days, but I do miss you guys and I do think about you often. But she told me that if you want to grow, you have to get uncomfortable. We have to learn to live in the uncomfortable. That's the only way to do it, is living in the uncomfortable. The only way to improve, to better yourself, is living in the uncomfortable. And there are too many people that, yes, a lot of Germans in the 1930s were good people and law abiding citizens, and that didn't go well for them. So, yes, you have to learn to live in the uncomfortable. And remember, folks, living in the uncomfortable means that you're going to have to deal with the fact that there are some laws, there are some things, some freedoms that people have that you just might not agree with. But that's what freedom is. Um, I don't know why that ticker popped up because that was the wrong ticker. Remember, folks, you can go to
There,
Do a Queen. Welcome and thank you for getting that #2 gifter badge. I don't know what that means,
Oh,
but thank you for the gift. I really appreciate it.
well, that's
Um,
Voodoo. She's one of my mutuals.
well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm glad to have you here. Remember, folks, you can go over to um, thecarolinastoryteller.printandfy.me/products and get all kinds of The Carolina Storyteller merch. We've got hats. We've got shirts. We've got shirts for Valmont, not just Paranormal, The Carolina Storyteller, stickers, all of it. And all of the funds go to fund these lovely, lovely little shows that we try to put on for all of you, whether you're on TikTok, whether you're on Podbean, whether you're here with us on YouTube right now. We try to do all this stuff for you. Um, Jackie, behave.
I was waiting for that.
Lauren, sometimes I do voice impressions.
Voice impressions might be another live because right now we're all voice actors. Remember, we have a show, Valmont, the Black Raven Chronicles. If you haven't listened to it yet, go look that up. You're going to enjoy it. But right now, we've got to get on to the meat and potatoes of what Not Just Paranormal is. We already
One,
missed the conversation about.
one sec. Just in the comments here, Voodoo, he's actually around like Charleston.
Yes, thank
She,
you.
she's Gullah.
Oh, she's Gullah? Oh, Voodoo. We got to get together. I would love to, especially if you're Gullah, because we can talk about Plaid Eye. We can talk about Plaid Eye. We can talk about Boo Hags.
She's talked about.
Dr.
I've heard her
Buzzards.
mention
Where's
Plaid
Dr.
Eye
Buzzards
before.
at? I've heard of that. That sounds really familiar. Is that down in West Ashley? St. Helena
I
Island? Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yes.
I already know what
Yes,
she's
I
about to
do know
tell
where
you
that
too.
is. Yes, I am aware. I've been there like twice. I'm up in the corner. That's your grandfather is Dr. Buzzards? Oh my God. So you were like real like Gullah royalty around here. Wow. Okay, like we have got to get together. We got to talk on some stuff. We got to talk on some stuff. We can't talk on some stuff now, but follow me, send me a message. We have got to hook up. We'll do some TikToks. I will get you on D Carolina Storyteller. You're in North Charleston. I'm in Monk's Corner. We got like 16 miles between us. We can make this happen. Okay. I'm, I'm, I'm gonna hook up with Gullah royalty. I'm happy. The Gullah, this is Gullah is one of the best things about the Charleston area. I honestly think it is a wonderful culture. At any time I get to talk to somebody about Gullah culture and things like that, I'm always super excited. Um,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
south of Bono. I'm south of Bono by about 10 miles. I'm between you and Bono,
yeah.
but I got
Voodoo,
friends up in
trust
Bono.
me, Voodoo, trust me, you'll have a really good conversation with her. And yeah, I will say this unashamedly that yeah, she is one. She is like top tier, like one of my TikTok crushes.
Whoa, I don't mean that kind of hookup, Jackie. Behave yourself and behave yourself for me. Um, so anyway, we're supposed to be one of the big things about Not Just Paranormal is our National Cryptid Championship, where we take cryptids from multiple locations, pit them against each other, and see who's going to win. And I've got one cryptid from each of the 50 states picked out. You be having you a good time, Jackie. I see you down here. I know what you're saying. One cryptid for each of the 50 states. And for those of you that don't know, we are a little bit behind. We're a little bit behind because we've been missing episodes. So let's take a quick look for those of you that can see this on YouTube. Here is the bracket. And for those of you that don't, I'll just tell you what's on the bracket this week. This week's bracket, we have Connecticut Melonheads. Yeah, Connecticut has melonheads. That's their cryptid. I don't know. I don't choose these things. I just kind of went through and got a list of a cryptid from every state. I put the bracket together, and the Montana Shunko Waraking. Yes, that's a Native American name. I probably butchered it. I apologize. Then we have the Florida skunk ape versus Nevada's cryptid, which making it for the second time somehow Tahoe Tessie, because it is technically the cryptid of two states. It got two times in here, and I think this might be the actual time it won, because if I'm correct, Tahoe Tessie lost in the last episode against the Wendigo. Like the Wendigo took Tahoe Tessie for a ride. So let's talk about it. Just off of the names, Eli, we're looking at Connecticut Melonheads versus Montana uh Chukawar Chunkawarkin? Chunkawarakin?
So
Who's taking this?
I'm over here. I'm actually googling what they look like. And the melon head one. This motherfucker does not have a frontal lobe. He has a frontal globe. Um, and so looking at him, and then the Shunka Warakin, which I'm probably butchering that as well. Um, this one looks scary. So
So
just looks alone, that's what I'm going for. But I'm gonna let you tell me a little bit about.
throw up the image of that melon head for all of us to see. See if you can put it on your screen so that it'll pop up on the TikTok live so everybody can see this
Um,
seriously deformed creature. If you can't,
um,
well,
I'll have to move my phone over here. But so
there we have it. That is the melon head, ladies and gentlemen. The melon head isn't really I don't know what to say. The melon head's not really, guys, that's the melon head. It looks like it has a watermelon force gun. And to be honest, okay, the defining characteristics of these melon heads, if you look at the picture, you're highlighting a much larger picture. Go to the picture right there in the middle, just underneath that one. They're short creatures, very
oh,
short, is their
this
description. So these creatures are very short with this disturbingly large head. Um, and that's
myself.
that's what the melon head is. Now, let's look at Shunko Warikin.
So
This is the Native American depiction of Shunko Warikin. I don't know why this just popped up, but I'm getting it out of the way. These cryptids are going to fit. We're trying to determine which of these cryptids is better. All right, Eli, can you show him the Shunkan Warikin?
yeah.
Sorry, man. You've got the camera there. This is the Shunkan Warikin. Now, this thing versus the melon head. I'm just saying, you know, based off of first sight alone, this thing's taking it. Okay. I can't in any way, shape, or form see where those melon heads are going to survive against him. Particularly because if you read the legend behind the melon heads, they are basically just children with big heads. Guess what, people? Most kids have big heads when they're born. I had a big head and a little body for a little while. Like babies are generally like half head when they're born. That's just the way it is. These are kids that their craniums develop faster. Give them a break. I put kids up against that. I am a horrible person.
Yeah,
So I
and
don't
I'll
think anybody is going to argue with me in calling this a straight up win for a straight up loss for the Melonheads. They don't they don't even stand a chance.
that's
I
not
should
even
have to put them in
fair.
this fight. Huh?
That's not even fair.
It's not. It's completely unfair. And I apologize to whoever
Oh,
might be
Vo-
from.
Voda just mentioned a second ago. She said, "I'm kicking." I don't know if she's talking about the melon head or not, but what she just made me think of was, you remember the old episodes of South Park? Ready, Ike? Kick the baby.
Yes, yes, that is exactly what would happen. People would kick the baby and there would be no melon head left. Okay. The melon head is just not going to make it in this fight. Um,
She said
Jackie
that's
called
what
it an
she.
oversized fetus. Good God, Jackie, that's just mean.
And Voodoo said that is what she was talking about.
Kick the baby. God, kick the
Don't kick the
baby.
baby.
So that takes care of our first battle. So let's go back to the bracket. Let's take a look real quick. Um,
One it's Africa.
well, we're not. We're focusing like our cryptids that we've got right now. We've got a bracket system set up. If you go over and check out Not Just Paranormal, you can find it. Um, but right now, we've already got the ones that are in this bracket set up, and they're just from America. We're trying to figure out what the best cryptid from America is based on what each state says is the best cryptid in their state. And like we have gone through, hang on a second, let me just see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14. We're on cryptids 15 and 16 so far in this goal to find the best cryptids in America. And right now, our next one up is one that just, man, I'm not sure. Uh, the Lizard Man from South Carolina is actually South Carolina's top cryptid. And believe it or not, I think he's going to go, but I don't think he's going to go all the way because he's got to go up against the Wendigo. So Voodoo Queen, I agree with you. The Lizard Man, he trumped everything. He trumped the Plaid Eye. He took out the Knot Deer. He took out what was the other one that was from South Carolina? There was anyway. The Lizard Man fought his way through when we did this for just Carolina, but now that he's in the national stage, he's got to go up off some big contenders. And honestly, Wendigo right now has my money for being the number one pick. Lizard Man, of course, is in the number 2 slot, in my opinion. I'm I'm partial, but I think the Lizard Man could take it. But let's go
Just
to our
know
next
Ohio
bout.
ain't got shit.
Bigfoot is in there, but the thing is there's multiple Bigfoots, and I'm about to mention another one. But first, let's talk about Tahoe Tessie. And just like Eli did, I'm going to try and show you guys Tahoe Tessie. I'm going to do the kind thing that Eli was doing before. This is Tahoe Tessie. Can you see that picture? Can you see that
Um,
monstrous thing? That mouth,
Lower it a
that
little bit.
person by that mouth. Is it working? Can we see it? Is it showing? Can you see it?
A little bit.
There is a breed of Bigfoot that are there. I believe they're called the red gray Bigfoots, and they're cannibal. They eat.
Trying to get Tahoe Tessie on the screen.
I got
There's
it.
Tahoe Tessie. Tahoe Tessie is dangerous. So Tahoe
I
Tessie
can.
is a massive um, Loch Ness monster type creature that lives in Lake Tahoe. Um, Tahoe Tessie is not necessarily said to be vicious per se, but its mouth's big enough that it could swallow you whole. Um, if you're from around here, there are legends of catfish down at the end of the at the end of the dam here on Lake Moultrie that are the size of Volkswagen bugs, and that their mouths were big enough that they could probably swallow a small human. Well, they don't eat small human, but big enough they could swallow you. It's not really going to matter. Okay, if you get in that mouth, you're gone. Tahoe Tessie, same thing. Tahoe Tessie, who lost their bout from California, is now going up against the state of Florida.
Which
Just story about how this settler got swallowed by one of those, and he supposedly cut himself out, and the monster kept swimming like nothing happened.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Tahoe Tessie it's a massive thing. So Tahoe Tessie, there's Tahoe Tessie. For those of you on YouTube, I'm sorry, I was showing it everywhere else. Jackie, you're going on the bracket next year. But Tahoe Tessie is, of course, representing both California and Nevada. Lost for California. This time, Tahoe Tessie is going to be going up against the Florida skunk ape. Okay. The Florida skunk ape of all things. I don't know how this is going to turn out when I pose who's going to win the battle, because this is Florida's skunk ape. Florida's
Florida,
not. America, not. You were saying?
Florida, honestly, if you're gonna pick a cryptid for Florida, you could have just went with Florida Man, if we're being honest.
Voodoo Queen's joining us in here at the end because
Oh
she
shit.
requested the invite, and I'm going to accept it. So I'm going to let her in here. Um, because I would love to get her opinion on this. Okay, we have the Florida skunk ape. Hi, welcome. I'm going to let you. Oh no, take your time. Take your time. Um, so Florida skunk ape, for those of you who don't know, also known as the Honey Island swamp monster, the folk monster. This thing has been sightings going back to the 1930s. um, of this creature just kind of walking around. And the thing is that it's been seen all over Florida. Like our lizard man sticks to Scape or Swamp. That's where he has his place. He hangs out there. The reason that we rated him as being the number one is because you got to go in his territory. And if you go in his territory, you're just not going to win. The lizard man is going to take you hands down. But the skunk ape, he covers that whole state. Now, granted, a lot of Florida is swamp, but a lot of Florida is different things too. I mean, the skunk ape has been seen in downtown Miami at some point in time. How the hell is Bigfoot walking around in Miami and people aren't making a big deal about this?
Also, in this is directed towards the comment section on TikTok. Tank, kiss my ass.
So, the,
This is
no,
Voodoo,
the
I can
skunk
hear
ape
you,
has
but
been sighted.
it was
The skunk ape has been sighted in Dade County, Palm Beach County, Marion County, Putnam County, Suwannee County. Um, it's been counted in Broward County. It's been cited in Orlando, cited in Daytona. How do we have a cryptid that is just walking around showing up everywhere in Florida and getting away with it?
shit. I done lost my earbud.
It's been seen by tourists, it's been seen by locals. This guy is everywhere in Florida. But the question is this guy have what it takes to take out Tahoe Tessie?
water. Like I feel like there's no way it like the Loch Ness monster in one of us. You know, like
Yeah.
you're not. You're sad.
It's just it's sad to say, but Florida, I honestly thought Florida was going to put more into the battle, but they just put in another Bigfoot, and we've had multiple Bigfoots already in the cryptid battle. There are multiple. I could just go through the list right now. There is
Is the human a Bigfoot tribe in there?
they are but they're from
That
yes, they are actually where are they at? Um
That's a good question. I want to know what state that is.
that's Colossal Claude from Oregon. Is
So I'm not going there.
yeah.
like yeah, horse.
Appalachians, we have dogmen and we have the things that nobody wants to talk about. Appalachians, uh-huh.
It changed them to where they grew about 4 feet higher than the average 8 to 9 foot Bigfoot.
Yes, but we're not talking about them today.
Like
Well, supposedly they've been hunted down to one left. Supposedly there's only one left. Supposedly. But yes, we have the Mongolian monster. We have Bigfoot itself. Um, because yes, Bigfoot is different than all of these. And then we have classifications of other monsters that are considered to be similar to Bigfoot, like Colossal Claude, which is believed the Tennessee Wild Man. Um, and of course, today's interesting addition, the Florida skunk ape, which Florida, I'm sorry, I honestly thought you guys would go further in this competition. I really did. But I think we're all saying that Tahoe Tessie is going to one bite in this thing.
Yeah. Tank, I'm glad you saw that, by the way. That was intended at you.
That was hilarious. That one right there, that thing that no one wants to talk about.
Yeah. For those of y'all who are seeing this on YouTube, I'm being fucking harassed in the TikTok comments by one of my mutuals. Um, lucky you, my dude. Otherwise, we might have to throw hands.
I'm sorry. I'm still hung up on remembering the 12-foot hairy mammal just scooping up people. Sir, I'm just no. That's the part I'm just trying not to think of. I hear things like that. Y'all remember like the old folk tales of like Astor? Like that's the stuff that I think of. I hear things like that, and I'm thinking like, yeah, Nephilim. I don't want to like. I don't want to deal with that kind of things. I don't want to. But I'm fine. But the thing is that there's supposedly a story about a war with those exact Bigfoots with settlers in cowboy time.
Yeah. So
That
there was supposedly, and this is again in Oregon, and we're going to cover that when we get to the Oregon thing. Yeah, supposedly in Oregon. You
Now,
know,
I'm sorry. A war with any kind of Sasquatch type creature. I'm sorry. That's white people shit. That is all y'all. I'm out.
so apparently the Sasquatch is actually Canadian, so we don't have to worry about the Sasquatch itself. Just Colossal Claude, because he's the only one left surviving the war. If I remember the story correct, we're going to get to that story. Today, I have to announce if we're going to go back to the bracket, I'm going to show you guys the bracket has been updated. It's so sad to see. But, ladies and gentlemen, it's official. The Florida Skunk Ape has lost. Tahoe Tessie now moves forward. We have now basically finished the first half of our bracket, save for what I'll be doing in the next episode, which is Georgia's Al Hatamaha and the New Hampshire Woods Devil, not to be confused with the Jersey Devil, the Nebraska Alkaline Lake Monster versus the Zwandeli Merman from Delaware. How does Delaware get merman? I don't understand that. It just Delaware has mermen, like not mermaids, mermen.
Life.
And for those of you that read a lot of those monstrous romance novels, do not be leaving your men and running to frickin' Delaware. Please don't do that. Okay. I don't want to see the spike in divorces because you found out mermen, hot mermen are in Delaware until we find out where the hot mermaids are. Okay. It's
Voodoo,
fine.
behave.
No, Voodoo, keep it going. Have fun. Um, yeah, Blackbeard. Well, Blackbeard. I could go on all day about Blackbeard. Buford has mermaids. All I got to do is travel down to Buford because I do know Blackbeard was in. Blackbeard was in Charleston though, so like you know, Blackbeard was here. Blackbeard was in Charleston. Anyway, folks on YouTube, folks, that is our show for today. I want to thank you for being here with us. Reminder that Atomicon is going to be May 3rd and 4th. Voodoo Queen, you got to be there now because now I know you're in the area. It's at the Trident Technical Center, Technical College Convention Center, May 3rd and 4th. Atomicon. It's a convention. You got to show up. I did not know you do the cons, but you got to come and do this one. I'm doing this con. North Charleston, South Carolina, at the Trident Technical College Conference Center, May 3rd and 4th, Atomicon. You're going to have authors. You're going to have cosplayers. You're going to have podcasters. There's going to be vendors. There's going to be a pirate certificate. You can learn to be a pirate and become a pirate. I am judging the cosplay contest.
Which I
love that kind of stuff. Eli, send me that.
It's going
I
to
got
be
you.
Wichita coming up here.
I live in Moncks Corner. My ex-husband worked at that Arby's right there that got destroyed by the tornado. Like,
Oh, right.
I live in this area. Well, I'm not from here.
I'm not either. I was born in Georgia, raised in Georgetown. I've been here for 20 years, so technically I count. I count. I've been here long enough. I have my Charleston card. Like I might not be able to say I'm from old Charleston. Like when that guy goes up with the videos, you ain't from old Charleston. If you don't remember this, I don't remember what that was. I'm sorry.
So, history of Gifford. I will tell you that. I will tell you that I am from the first plantation that Harriet Tubman freed.
That is amazing.
Family is a very, very black family. So we are
Okay.
high grade.
We might have friends in common. You might know some people that I know. Anyway, people, let me wrap up. Let me wrap up this and then I'll get right back with you on TikTok. So guys, this is our show for the day. As you can tell, doing two things at the same time is kind of fun. And so we're having a blast over here. Thank you for watching. Remember to go over to patreon.com/, the Carolina Storyteller to support this show, get behind the scenes stuff. You can see all the table reads right now from Valmont. You can soon we'll be putting up the scripts that you can actually buy copies of the scripts so you can read the scripts as I wrote them. So, you can do all that and you can get your stocking stuff just by going over to the Carolina Storyteller merch store at printify.me/products. Go and get you guys some great Carolina Storyteller merch. And Eli, you got anything you want to add?
Not in particular. I know like we've also had a hiatus, like with our podcast. We should be back recording that again tomorrow. As soon as we have another episode of Valmont, I'm gonna be live streaming that probably back to back because I think 4 and 5 will be out more or less about that time. So
Yeah,
y'all
4 and
could
5.
look for that as well.
Yes.
Like, before I can start any kind of podcast.
Good
Most of
idea,
my
Chris.
most of my followings came here from TikTok, honestly.
It'd be great content on TikTok. Y'all should follow.
I will be following you. So anyway, guys, that's from the Carolina Storyteller. Remember to check out Eli's over here on Men Behind the Curtain, as well as the camera flipped. And I'm pointing in the wrong direction, but that's where Eli is. You can check out Men Behind the Curtain, as well as Valmont, the Black Raven Chronicles. Episode 4 and 5 will be up in the next few days. So you guys will get both of those kind of coming back to back. And then we're going to be ramping up to episode 6 and Atomicon May 3rd and 4th. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, Jackie, for commenting. Thank you, everybody on TikTok, for watching it with us. And oh yeah, stay spooky, my friends. We'll see you next time.
We got Kansas